The prophecy of the Red Heifer and the end of the world. Recently there has been talk about the prophecy of the Red Heifer and how a number of red heifers have been found in Texas, and talks about the signs of the end times. But what is the prophecy, where does it come from, and how will it bring about the end times? The Red Heifer.
Tell the people of Israel to bring you a red heifer without defect, in which there is no blemish, and on which a yoke has never come. And you shall give it to Eleazar the priest. A nit shall be taken outside the camp, and slaughtered before him. And Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and sprinkle some of its blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. And the heifer shall be burned in his sight. Its skin, its flesh, and its blood, with its dung, shall be burned. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet yarn, and throw them into the fire, burning the heifer.
The red heifer is a special cow that must meet strict conditions in order to fulfill the purifying ritual offering. The ritual itself was first ordered by Moses and Aaron and was seen as an extremely unclean act. The red heifer itself must be a red cow without blemish, without defect, and should never have been yoked, among other things. If these conditions were met, then the ritual sacrifice could commence. Unlike other blood or burnt offerings, the slaughter of the red heifer must be done away from the camp, with its blood being sprinkled 7 times towards the entrance of the tent of meeting for some of the rituals, while other rituals do not require it. The red heifer must be burnt with the majority of its blood outside the camp. The priests that performed the ritual were considered unclean and must cleanse themselves and their clothes. The nature of the ritual was seen as an unclean and impure act. The ashes of the heifer were then to be gathered and mixed with the spring waters of a vessel to produce the water of lustration. The water was then to be sprinkled, and those who handled the water were considered unclean and must be purified. With the completion of the ritual of the red heifer is complete. But how did the ritual of the red heifer come to symbolize the end times? To find this answer, we must turn to Jewish tradition. In some Jewish traditions, it is believed that 9 red heifers have been sacrificed, and the 10th and final red heifer will be sacrificed, and with that 10th and final sacrifice, it shall bring about the messianic age. In the Talmud, the red heifer must not have been defiled, at least 3 years of age, and will become a sin offering. Some traditions believe that if even 2 hairs of the heifer are not red, then the entire cow must be disqualified. Due to the extremely rare nature of the belief of the red heifer, some traditions believe that the Messiah will prepare the 10th and final red heifer, bringing with it the messianic age. In order to have the messianic age, the 3rd temple must be constructed, and the first step of that construction, according to some Jewish beliefs, is the sacrifice of the red heifer. This belief is not shared by all Jewish peoples, as a number of Jewish people believe the 3rd temple will only be remade by divine hands of God and his angels. The significance of the ritual of the red heifer. With some Jews believing that the sacrifice of the 10th red heifer will bring about the Messiah, meaning either the person doing the ritual being the Messiah, or the Messiah coming about shortly after, causes serious issues among other Abrahamic religions. To some Christian traditions, it is the Antichrist that will create conditions that will bring the construction of the 3rd temple. In other Christian traditions, the construction of the 3rd temple will bring about the time of the tribulations. If some sects of the Jewish faith believe that with the sacrifice of the red heifer and the coming of the Messiah and the construction of the 3rd temple, while some sects of Christianity interpreting these same events being a fulfillment of the Antichrist, serious issues are bound to arise. How does the ritual of the red heifer affect Islam? In some Islamic beliefs, that the sacrifice of the red heifer will bring about Al-Masih ad-Dajjal, otherwise known as Dajjal. It can be roughly translated as deceitful Messiah. Dajjal is the equivalent of the Antichrist in Christianity and is described as a man that is blind in one eye, that will perform the miracles like Jesus and will deceive the whole world. The Dajjal will only be defeated by Jesus and the Mahdi. With all three major religions having a connection to the ritual of the red heifer, it is this reason why numerous peoples believe the ritual will bring about the messianic age. To some Jewish peoples, this ritual will bring about the messianic age. To certain Christian sects, this will create the Antichrist and the second coming of Jesus to fulfill the final requirements of the Christ and bring about the messianic age. And to certain Islamic beliefs, Jesus and the Mahdi, or Mahdi, will defeat their version of the Antichrist. Although these positions do not make up all of their respective religions, there is still a sizable number of people who believe that the end times will come from the ritual of the red heifer. Will the ritual of the red heifer bring about the messianic age? Will it bring about the Antichrist? Is the Talmud correct about the interpretation of the ritual of the red heifer? Let me know in the comment section below, and for more Supernatural History TV, like and subscribe.